Hello, hello. You are listening to the iHeart Movies podcast, where we discuss all things movies and then some. In this episode, we talk about going to the movies.
On today's show, we will be talking about the movie-going experience itself. That's right, going to the movies. The first time we went to the movies, any fun stories that we have at the movies. What kind of food do you like to eat at the movies, if at all? Do you watch the trailers? Do you stay for the extra credit scenes, if there's anything after the credit scenes? But before we get to all that, introductions are to be had. My name is Jimmy.
Addison.
Timmy.
Monkey.
And we are the iHeart Movie crew. All right, fellas, let's go right into it. We all heart the movies. Do we all heart going to the movies, though?
Yes.
I'm asking.
I do.
I think so, right? I think most...
I feel like I do,
Okay.
but I haven't gone to the movies in a very long time.
I also feel like I used to love it way more back when I was in college because it felt like it was more of an experience. They were doing like all these huge summer releases and everything. It felt like it was a collective thing that everyone had to go do.
Yeah.
And now there's so many things to do and people are so distracted by everything else that it's become a little less of an experience, in my opinion.
I get that. Yeah, I understand. I went a couple months without going to the movie theater, and I really hate to say it. I didn't miss it that much.
Yeah.
I hate to admit that, but it's true. I did not miss it all that much. The only reason I kind of got back into it is because I'm the type of guy that likes to watch all the nominated films, and I do that every year. So I wanted to not have that FOMO on during award season. So that's the only reason.
I like watching movies on big screens, and I like the movies to be stupid loud. And you can really only get that in a movie theater.
Yeah, right. At the cinema.
Yeah.
I had an interesting like societal quandary is what I called this earlier.
Okay, yeah.
If you think about it, movie theaters are actually a weird concept because nowhere else can you walk into a room with one or two strangers, not say anything for 2 hours, and it not be a weird thing. Like if there was a room, you walked into the same room and nobody said anything for 2 hours, it'd be super fucking weird, right? But everyone's like, it's not like a stadium, right? It's not like a packed stadium or anything, because a lot of times you go to a movie theater and there's only a couple people in there.
True. Yeah.
So you're in a room with someone and you never speak one word to these people, and everyone's just watching a screen. It's not having your friends over. It's not going to a packed stadium or anything. It is literally, it's a weird construct, a social construct to me that I was.
And really, you're trying to forget that they're there.
It would be different, I guess, than like going to a comedy club or going to a live theater production, because there could be moments of like interaction with the audience.
Yes. And usually that's a show, right? That's, a lot of people have bought tickets for.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these movies are niche things that like there's one person or two people in there, and it just it's weird that you don't say. It's not like, hey Joe, what's up? Like you're coming. Like I've had times where I've gone to a theater and I've seen friends there or whatever, and so then we interact. But
speaking to the awkwardness that is, I once went and saw Beyond the Thunderdome at Universal Cineplex back when it was, I guess, AMC. No, back when it was Lowe's still. And there was only one other guy in the theater. And at some point, like, we realized we were the only ones there and that no one else was showing up. So then it was just like, hey, enjoy the movie. Yeah, you too.
You said something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
funny.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta say something because this is weird. It's just me and one other person.
Yep.
I've been to theaters where it's just me, but that was the one and only time where it was like me and another person I didn't know. So yeah, I had to say something.
Yeah.
I wish people would say less.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And going to the whole thing of me not missing it, that's been unfortunately part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
As I know Timmy definitely knows this. Well, one of the worst experiences that I had in the theater, I was watching it was a Creed 2, and there was this couple next to me, and they had all of the drinks because they had it at the MacGuffin's bar there because they had the cups and everything, and you could tell they were drunk as skunks, and they're just talking throughout the entire thing, and we're talking not at a like whisper level, like as if they're at a party level. And I just like, hey, guys, I'm really sorry. Can you just please keep it down? I'm just trying to watch the movie. And the guy got extremely aggressive with me to the point where because he was actually 2 seats away from me, he went and sat down next to me and put his face in my face. And he said, like, well, I'm here now. Like, you want to talk? And I said, no, I don't want to talk. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Is that I don't want to talk. And he says, what is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a human being say, and I'm not saying that in hyperbole, I mean quite literally. He says that's why people come to the movies is to talk. To which I say, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a person say. And he's like, what? I'm like, sir, like, just like, I'm just trying to watch the movie. Please go back to your seat. And his partner gets up and goes and complains to the manager about us. To which then we're like, no, they are drunk. They are talking the entire time. And the manager who recognized us because we went there, right? We're talking every Thursday, every time there's a new movie, right? We're there. So they know us. We never had any problem. He knew. It's like, okay, I could tell. Plus, I'm sure he ran into them before anyway, like at least that same night. And the way that they were acting after the movie was over, because they ended up leaving too, like, because I think they were just so upset with the situation. It was like, good, you can literally be anywhere else in the world right now. Anywhere. Talk in the hallway, that's allowed. I'm not going to tell you, hey guys, keep it down. We're here in the hallway. Like, please. Like, no, you paid money to be here to watch a thing, and you're not watching the thing. And I just don't understand the logic in that whatsoever. And for some reason, comparing it to like live theater, at live theater, you would get called out immediately.
Yeah.
Like immediately. Oh, yeah. And I don't know if it's just because there's live people in front of you, so you're distracting them from the performance, and maybe this is a recording. I don't know if there's just no respect for art, the art of cinema, or whatever it is. But like literally, I don't understand a person paying to not watch a thing that they're paying to watch the thing.
But you also said they were drunk, so there's no thought, period.
Yeah, but I feel I got the impression that these were just loud, noisy people anyway.
Oh yeah,
and there's been plenty of people where they're not drunk and they're still talking too loudly. And here's the weird thing: if I can hear your conversation, and this has happened many times, if you're at least talking about the movie, and it's a simple like, oh, isn't that the guy from the first movie? Or isn't that the guy that did this? Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, yeah, at least you're engaged with what's going on. So I'm less like, oh, cool. They're like, it's because we've all been there. Oh, I know that guy from something. What's that guy from? And until you figure it out, it's gonna bother you. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's like, in order for you to enjoy the thing that's in front of you, you need to figure that out first. So
every time I do that, my wife goes, shh. So I never get a chance.
I love it. That's funny. I would probably do that too. Not to you, but like, yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things, and I hate that there's a lack of respect for, honestly, for other people at that point, because really it's lack of respect for just other people and other people's time and their money and their enjoyment of a thing. So that's why I really like going to art house theaters, because and I don't care how hoity-toity that sounds, but like the clientele is respectful of what they're of ArcLight. ArcLight is a perfect example. I love the ArcLight. And then in the Orlando, Florida area, it's Enzian Theater. Enzian's a great art house theater. Yeah.
Alamo Draft House.
Which
in
I
Austin.
wish we had here, which I've never been to, but I would buy a pass, subscription, whatever they call their thing, because I've only heard great things. They're very strict from what I hear about, like, if you're on your phone or talking, whatever, they give you like a 2-3 warning, and after that you're out. And they're like, oh, but I paid. No, you're out. That's the rule, and you're not welcome back.
I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah,
I like it
a
too.
lot.
I like it too.
Anybody else have experiences with talkies?
Not too many. I remember, like, very vaguely where it was some R-rated movie, and there was a child behind me with his mom, and I forget what it was, because I feel like it was just like a horror movie, rated R, blood and guts, and I'm like, this So there's this small child that shouldn't be here. God. And it's just like complaining about how he doesn't want to be here.
I don't blame him.
and she's just like talking to him. And then I think she went on her phone or something. Because I did like the Seinfeld, looked over my shoulder, like gave a shush, and then I think it escalated to where it was like she was gonna dump her drink on me, and I was just like, okay, I think they left. Yeah, I think the child was too frightened.
There's a certain point where you need to take the child out of the movie. I wholeheartedly agree that the movie theater manager would give you your money back if you left within. You're like, I'm sorry, my child's causing because you're making a better experience for other people in the theater by leaving.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You're going to get your money back. It's unfortunate. Don't have a kid. If that's, you know what I mean? Like
or don't take the kid to the movies.
Or don't take the, right.
Especially an R-rated movie.
Right,
That's like
exactly
not appropriate.
Well, usually it's because they don't have a babysitter or something or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's like
not an excuse.
Yeah.
Right, no, and that's what I'm saying. Then don't have a kid. Like that's what you have.
Babysitter.
Yeah.
Aren't there services? Babysitter's Club? That's a book, right?
Yeah.
It's a book
Yeah.
series, yes.
Is that a real thing?
It's also a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
By the way, speaking of getting your money back, I got free, because this is pre-subscription in the theaters. We got free tickets.
Oh.
Because the manager, again, they
for their incident.
for their incident,
Oh, wow.
right? So even
Okay.
though they went to complain about us, we ended up getting free movie tickets.
Oh, cool.
And for as long as we lived in that area and went to that theater, which again was pretty much every Thursday, to usually do a double feature of whatever just opened, never once saw that couple ever again there, ever. So it's like, I just feel like you just weren't movie people, and I hate to be like I'm unusual here, let me speak to your manager, which again, I did not call, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And them just, I think, assessing the situation properly, they could tell what's going on. The guy wasn't stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like, no, these guys are clearly rowdy, and these guys are like me and my wife, we were just guys, like they were talking the whole time. Guys, please, and so
I feel like you made that couple realize that they actually don't like movies. Because when they replayed the scenario, and then it was like, yeah, and then I said,
of sober mind.
yeah, it's like, and then I said, like, no, people go to the movies to talk, and he said that's stupid. It kind of is stupid. Like, oh yeah, it is.
He had an existential crisis.
Wow, we're dumb.
There you go.
Yeah.
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 Hopefully they're doing a lot better now.
So I've got two.
Go ahead.
One was went and saw The Men Who Stare at Goats with some friends, and some kids, like a group of kids, probably, I don't know, around 11, snuck in, and I think they were just trying to sneak into something, and they were up in the front, and they just kind of kept laughing at scenes that weren't even funny, and it was distracting. And so after so much calamity going on, eventually I got up and made my way over to the kids who were like on the other side of the theater from me, and just walked up behind them, and I was like, hey, shut up. And then I walked right on back to where I was and sat down, and my friends, they of course are cracking. And Maddie was there, and she to this day still will say that. She'll just sometimes be like, hey, shut up. And then sure enough, like those kids, they clammed up. And I want to say within about 5 minutes, they snuck out of the theater, and we didn't see them again. And then the other incident is gone from my mind. I can't remember it now.
Okay.
All right.
It'll pop in your head.
Yeah, we'll come back.
So when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking when I was a young moviegoer, the first movie I ever actually remember vividly seeing in theaters was Independence Day. And I remember walking out of the theater, and it was because it's summer, it's Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like super cloudy and really dark outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are they coming? Are the aliens coming? And so that also goes to my
Randy Quaid was right.
yeah, right. And so that also goes to another thing that I was thinking of. Do you guys ever, when you walk out of the movie, feel like you're in the movie.
Yes.
And so like walking out of a Bond movie, I'm like, I'm driving a Bond car.
Oh, heck yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, all the time.
It's so well. Oh, you do that now?
Yeah,
Oh.
I do that now.
He's doing it right this second.
Yeah. If it's a good enough movie that drives me, yes.
I watched Twister
Yeah.
in theaters when it came out. And here in the Sunshine State, it rains a lot. Not a lot of tornadoes. We get them sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's probably going to rain today. And then you get there and it's storming. And then I go and I watch this storm movie. And I'm a child, and it was terrifying because it's like, why did they film those people die? Look at these tornadoes just tearing it up.
This is a terrible documentary.
Why are they doing this to Bill Paxton? And then I could hear
I love that cow.
it's storming outside. So it's like
Surround sound
thunder.
to the max.
And it was like not a storming scene, but it was just like, oh, oh. And you could kind of feel like there was this added level of tension where it's like, oh yeah, no, it's storming outside and we're watching a storm movie. It's like watching Titanic on a boat.
Which I've done.
I've watched Titanic right before going on a cruise,
really?
but
Yeah.
not on a cruise. That's a dream.
I did it for just
I watched an episode
to say it because it's
of
funny.
Lost
Yeah.
on a plane.
Yeah.
Oh,
I sure did.
I was first cruise I ever went on. A makeup artist from Titanic was on the same cruise.
Get out. How'd you know that?
Because I show up on the cruise. This is when it was just before my 23rd birthday, and because of my appearance, back then I had long hair, big beard, and apparently on this same cruise was a not horror convention, but like people who do haunted houses. They were all coming together from across the country, coming together to go on this cruise. They see me and they think I'm with the group. And so they invited me, even though I told them, no, I just happen to be on this same cruise. And they're like, you don't work haunts at all. I was like, well, I mean, I've worked like Halloween Horror Nights before. And they're like, oh. So immediately I became like the rock star. Yeah. Like, and they invited me in. And sure enough, I enter a makeup competition. Yeah. And the person judging the makeup competition, her nickname is Bloody Mary. And apparently she was one of the makeup artists from Titanic. And I was just like,
get out.
What? Yeah. I mean, mind you, I did a horrible makeup job. Yeah, but I just thought that was really weird. First time on a cruise, and I'm on a cruise ship with someone who worked on Titanic. That's pretty crazy.
That's funny.
That's a
awesome.
cool story. That's a cool story. Particularly with the Marvel movies, it bothers me when people leave before the movie's really done. Does that bother you guys at all?
I find it funny that after something that's been established for well over a decade.
Yes. Since 2008.
Yeah.
And by before it's done, you mean like they don't stay for the post-credit scene?
Yes.
Yeah, I always stay for the post.
I stay for all of the credits regardless.
I do that before post-credit scenes exist.
Yeah.
True, yes.
Since I was told, hey, it's rude to leave during the credits, I was like, oh, well, I didn't know that. And then so since I was a teenager,
Plus it's just like a wind down.
Stay for the credits.
And then I read them and I laugh at names.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and I see people with Marvel memorabilia, hats, t-shirts, whatever it may be, and they still leave, and I'm like, why? You're clearly a fan of this thing. You're here on a midnight premiere or 7 p.m. premiere on a Thursday night. Fan screening even sometimes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so that even before it opens, and you're still leaving. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? It irks me to no end. Particularly, I guess if you're just some, Joe Schmuck on the third Wednesday of the movie and you don't even know, and you're like, I just want to watch this movie. Just 2 hours of some, lasers being shot at each other or whatever, some explosions. That's
Why
fine.
are these lasers shooting at each other?
Well, it's just how lasers are. They've been.
Why are they always shooting at each other?
beginning of time, the lasers have been shooting at each other.
Are you whatever in Waldorf?
I don't
What's
know.
his name?
We're just doing it.
I'm just saying things. There's very little thought right now.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you brought up the Marvel movies, because I used to religiously go, and now I just don't. Like it ended after Endgame, I think.
The end game was your end game.
Yeah, the end game was my end game when it came to Marvel movies because I feel like they've just kind of gone downhill after that. So.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. But what the point is that it's still even till this, it's established that this is a thing, and then and what's even worse is the people that are like at the stairs climbing down, and then something pops up, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I always go to a website, by the way, no matter what the movie is, and I see if there's a post-credits scene.
Yeah,
I do
we've
look
done
that up
those.
every time. All right, so we're talking about movie theater experiences, and having lived in LA, I was fortunate to experience a couple of really neat things. So I just wanted to kind of share some stories with you guys. I think I've shared this one before, but not with our audience. So ArcLight, they do, before every movie, they have somebody that works at the movie theater come out and they introduce the movie. And then they say, enjoy the presentation, and then they walk away.
Okay, kind of like a live theater.
Yeah, it's
thing.
it's a really neat tradition thing that they do. So I went to go see Looper with some friends of mine. When we sat in our seats before the previews start, it's actually the custodian comes up to the front and he says, he starts talking and people start booing. So we're like, what's happening? And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Looper. And again, people are booing and heckling and whatever. And we're like, what is going on? So I find out later that it was the director, Rian Johnson, announcing the movie dressed as a custodian from ArcLight. So he came and introduced his own movie for the audience, and the audience was his friends. The rest, he had friends in the audience. They were all heckling him while he was down there.
Good job.
So I had no idea what Rian Johnson looked like. This is the Looper days, so this is
Sure, yeah.
before he was
Post-brick,
exactly.
Star Wars.
Yes.
There's a finite
So I
amount
thought
of
that-
time in there.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat. Second, I went to go to a Breaking Bad signing. They were doing the final release of all of the seasons at once, and then they were going to play a documentary. The documentary was No Half Measures at the Grove in Los Angeles. And I got in line. They literally opened the line to start waiting for your commemorative items at 8 a.m. So I have a photo of it was freezing. It was like November, I think. So I'm sitting in the bushes on like this curb starting at 8 o'clock in the morning all the way until 4 o'clock, which is when the doors opened. So the doors opened. I was thinking I'm just going to buy the final season because they were selling a giant meth container, like one of the bins that they had with all of the discs in it along with
meth
the
in it, right?
documentary. It was
With
a whole
actual meth.
thing.
They're just openly selling meth.
Yeah, it was the black bin. It was like a $200 thing. I'm like, I'm not buying that. And then when I got inside, I got peer pressured into buying it because everyone's buying one. And I'm like, shit.
Everybody's doing it.
So there they had Bob Odenkirk, Bryan Cranston, Dean Norris, and Vince Gilligan, and they're all autographing everything. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. And so they had the gold marker, and so I got my tin, and I'm getting it autographed by everybody. And I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm done with my signing. I go to leave, and some random guy comes up to me because I had the wristband to be able to buy that because they had a limited amount of that tin. And he goes, do you want to go see the documentary with the Q&A? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I showed up late to the documentary. So all the seats were full except for the front row. So I'm like, I'm in the front row. But I get there and the screen's pretty far back. And then they have the Q&A and I'm sitting in the front row and watching my heroes from my favorite television show all talk about their experiences on Breaking Bad, which in the same week, I was also invited to a DGA screening of The Wolf of Wall Street,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
in which I got to see afterward Leonardo DiCaprio and who else was Jon Favreau and Jonah Hill were all up there, and I took it was funny. I got my photo with Jonah Hill, and he looks very uncomfortable in the photo. He's not
He's admitted he is.
yeah, he's
in
not
this,
a
yeah.
he's not like a he doesn't he's very humble. I don't think he understands like why people like him so much. I think it's like this it's a really cool thing, but when you take a photo with him, he's like super awkward about it. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So I got my photo with him, and so yeah, that all happened. It was like all in the same week, and then nothing.
I guess this is just LA living.
Yeah, right. And then nothing like ever for the other 3 years that I lived in Los Angeles. So yeah,
Got it all out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to the red carpet premiere of The Revenant.
oh,
And that was a right place, right time situation, because I'm starting to see, I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard near the Chinese theater. They're starting to block stuff off, and I'm starting to seeing some, vehicles, and I'm just sort of looking around, being in production myself, understanding what I'm like, something's happening tonight. It's probably a movie premiere. We are in the most famous movie theater in the world. So I just go up to a guy who's working on some stuff, and I'm like, what's happening here tonight? And he's like, why are you talking like that? No, I'm like, hey, sir, like, is there something going on tonight? And he's like, yeah, there's a movie premiere tonight. Oh, what's the movie? And it's like The Revenant. I'm like, oh, what's that? It's like, it's a movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And I said, done. Where can I stand? And he's like, over there. And it's like, I went over there and I stayed there for like 4 hours.
yeah.
And they saw me, the guy, hey, what's up? Like that sort of thing. So like I was there, I was standing there, and like I knew exactly. He was like, yep, we're gonna put the line right here. He was very nice. He was a very nice guy. But he was like, yep, we're gonna put the line to here. So they're gonna, and he was telling me, he's like, yep, they're gonna park over there and then probably walk over here. So it was like, if that's who you really want to see. So yeah, and him being my favorite, at least living actor anyway.
Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite as well.
Absolutely. And then I did not know Tom Hardy, who's in that movie.
Yeah.
And also, I know I'm not saying his name right, but is it Domhnall Gleeson? From the Harry Potter,
Domhnall Gleeson.
I think it's films, amongst other great movies. He was also in that film, so bonus that I got to see them as well. And I believe the film was Alejandro Iñárritu, right?
Yes,
because
yes.
he I think he won director also for that film, but at the Oscars. So yeah, I got to see all of them and others in the movie, and it was pretty interesting to see the entirety of the thing go from essentially nothing to all of it to then nothing again, because I basically stayed the whole time. Just to see this whole.
Did you stay outside? So you didn't go?
I didn't go to the movie.
Gotcha. That's what I thought, because you said I went to the movie premiere, so I didn't know if you were waiting in line for 4 hours because they're giving you free access to be able to go in.
No,
after. Okay.
No, the me waiting was, I knew that this is where the barricades would be, so I was in the front, and there was no way that I was not gonna see this happen.
Yeah, you were movie adjacent.
Wow. Yes.
Movie.
So how close did you get to DiCaprio?
I mean, I have a video of it. He's right at me. He's literally right at me, right in front of me.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, and he went there. He didn't. He signed a couple autographs. He didn't do too much. But yeah, some of the other ones stayed a little longer. But yeah, he came out and said hi. And it's funny because the people that had pictures and stuff, most of it was either Titanic or Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. Which I'm sure he's like, I'm doing all your stuff, guy. Come on.
Yeah.
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
I worked with Marty Scorsese like 7 times. I was
Why is he
engaged in New
talking
York.
like that?
I don't know. That same guy said, why are you talking like that? Well, you don't sound like that.
Catch me if you can.
Steven Spielberg. I work with Steven Spielberg.
You see the Aviator?
Little did you know, that's how Leo talks in real life.
Gilbert Grape. I'm just that good of an actor. I was in Wolf of Wall Street.
We're not making fun of you. We're not making fun of you. We're not making fun of you.
We're making fun with you.
We're making fun with you.
We're making fun with you, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a really cool experience to see it all. Like, what's really crazy? I also want to mention this. Right next to the Chinese theater, there's a Hard Rock cafe, and after the hullabaloo happens, I'm seeing all these photographers, because they're taking pictures of the red carpet, and we're living in a different world at this point, because this is what I want to say, like 2015 maybe. So social media is like, at this point, like it's in, right? Like it's the thing now. And so there's people, photographers taking pictures, and they're taking pictures, and then they take out a memory card, give it to some young athletic looking person, and then they're running, and they go, and they run into that Hard Rock, and then this happens throughout like the thing. It's like, oh, there's Leo. Boom, boom, memory card. Boom, go. That person runs over and gets it, and then here's Tom Hardy. All right, cool. Memory, he's gone. Memory card out. Here we go. Boom, run, and then the other person, and they're running. So I'm just like, I think I know what's going on, but let me just double check. So at some point, I end up walking into that Hard Rock, and what I see is a ton of people on their laptops, and these people running, giving them the memory card. They take it, put it in the computer, and they're like the whole time, just like the squirrels in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the remake one. Yeah, and just working in their thing, and it's just like, and I'm just like, I go, oh, what do you guys work for? And they told me the website, whatever these websites were. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going on my phone.
And the photos are showing up.
These photos that they took not but 2 minutes ago are already up there.
Yeah.
And they're writing like what's happening. Oh, they look so glamorous and so beautiful. And they're here for the premiere of the new film. And here's the director and all this stuff that they're doing all in real time. And you have like 7 or 8 at least in a row of people from competing websites.
And it's all based on who's the fastest.
Yes.
Runner.
Yes, the runner is the unsung hero in this story, because you could have the greatest picture ever, but if you're not in the first one, there.
Watch him as he runs from here to there.
Yeah, so back in the day, at some point, you had to take a picture and then develop the whole thing.
Yeah.
There was a whole process behind it.
Well, and now it's just
there you go. And now at this point, in the timeline, they probably don't even do that anymore. Probably they do it right away. Like they probably just take it from their phone.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And and they just go. So it's like they have to go.
Yeah.
Like
or dictate,
and you literally can't get any faster. I don't think,
unless you know what would work.
Time travel.
Second. That's the answer to everything. Classic. If you have more than one phone and you're taking picture, then you hand it to someone else, and then someone else is doing it while you're taking. So you essentially have a phone photographer and then a poster, I guess. Not a movie poster, but a post.
That's what I am.
I'm a movie poster.
I'm a movie poster.
I post things about movies.
That would work, the movie posters.
I think it's a movie. The movie posters.
Oh, editor. It'd probably be an editor.
It'd probably be an editor. Yeah. And it's one of those like journalism is dead, or at least
that's the sequel to movie posters.
The
journalism is dead.
The integrity of journalism is dead, because it's more important to be first than it is to be right or correct or I mean, if you go on any of these article websites or anything like that, you'll notice it'll say revised.
Yeah.
Because they are often wrong.
Yes.
Like more often than
and there's
not,
often misspellings and punctuation errors and
it may be possibly, as it would seem, perhaps they would let you know
that they made a correction.
Well, no, like they would use those terms in every sentence that they make.
Oh, I see.
So everything is not definitive.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're right.
So it's just like, well, that's how we understood it at the time, to the best of our ability.
Right.
It's like, so you didn't know. No, we understood as good as we could with no information.
Yeah.
I like turtles.
Great. Zombie.
Ninja Turtles. And that's basically where we're at. So it was insane watching this entire process happen in real time, to which I wish I had a just one of those like sunglasses cameras or something, and then just sort of time lapse it, and just to see this whole, because that in itself could be a mini documentary. Somebody should get on that. Like if it doesn't already exist, like the entire process of, because we watch a lot of special features and it's usually about the making of the movie, but there's not always the aftermath of it, or just the a premiere. You could pick any big film premiere or whatever, because that's in itself is its own mini industry. And which is part of the movie going experience and marketing and all that. So yeah, it was fascinating to watch. I also would hate to ever do it.
Oh yeah,
like I would never would want to do something like that ever. But that's living in LA. Talking about going to the movie theater. Here's a fun little factoid. If you make your movie popcorn at home and you're wondering like, it doesn't quite feel like movie pop. Like movie popcorn in the theater has its own thing. It's because they all use a seasoning salt, and it's like that orange seasoning salt called Flavacol. Flavacol.
May cause cancer.
It may be.
Which is why you don't eat popcorn at the movies.
It could or it could not, to the best of our ability.
Now you sound like a pharmaceutical
May
exec.
cause cancer, so no guarantees.
Right, we can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, so far I think I've been doing all right, and I've eaten a lot of movie theater popcorn. Even
All right.
at home.
So here's the game. The game is I'm going to name a movie. I could even tell you the year if you really want to. And you have to guess how much was the average movie ticket when that movie came out.
okay.
Oh,
All right.
man, I'm going to lose.
You ready?
Okay.
The Wizard of Oz, 1939.
A nickel.
Mm,
That was actually just a joke.
I don't think you're far off.
I don't feel like
though.
you're far off. I was about to say a nickel. I'm going to say a nickel.
I'm going to say 10 cents just to be a contrarian.
25 cents.
Oh,
So it was one quarter.
25 cents.
For the record, that was also the same year that Gone with the Wind came out. Same
Mhm.
director.
Mm.
So fun little fact.
Wow.
Yeah, one of them.
He had a hell of a year.
Yeah, that's right. One of them because the other guy left.
Yeah, because I think Gone with the Wind ended up having 3
Well, I had
directors.
3?
Yeah.
Was it the first film with an intermission?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
That's a great
No.
question, but no, I don't think
I don't
so.
think so.
No.
I've seen 3 films with intermissions.
In recent years?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, intermission, I mean, it's been common in theater. It's been common for films for a time. Because part of it was also probably for concessions.
Yeah.
Give people a chance to spend, to make up for the fact that the movie's long.
Fun fact going with the history about all this too is that it was because when cinema was new, they treated it more like live theater, and it was these palaces, and they were very nice. They had the rugs out and everything. Expensive rugs. So, and because they were silent films, it was actually considered rude to have any food. In fact, most theaters, if not all of them, had a no food policy because it would be very loud in there with your right
In a silent picture.
in a silent picture. And then the talkies came in, and that actually kind of changed that. And the deal with popcorn in the movies is that a lot of these theaters would be like in public places, parks or whatever, and they had popcorn stands outside. And it became common practice for them to say, "Yeah, you can buy the popcorn and bring it in." And it was okay because they started to realize that more people would come in if they had allowed them to bring in their food. And they realized popcorn, it's just a good business strategy. It was at the time about a nickel. We're talking about in the 1930s, a bag. And the movie theaters got smart and started selling their own. And it's like, no, you can get it fresh, hotly made in here. And they would upsell it as time went on and whatever, but it's fresh movie-made popcorn. And that's basically how it was kind of like a convenience semi by accident sort of thing of like, hey, can we bring in this popcorn to eat while we're watching the film? No. Oh, well, then we're not watching your movie. Oh, well, hold on there, Sonny.
Yeah.
Hold on there, Sonny.
Hey,
You
sport.
can eat it.
We could work something out here. I'm a businessman. Let's go. So this will allow you. It will want you to pay. To get into my movie theater. Yes. Well, then go right ahead. Pay your 25 cents, your 20 cents, whatever it was at the time.
The Loves of Queen Elizabeth, 1912,
Is the first
to
have an intermission.
in
1912.
At
So,
least
yeah.
that's according to the Googles.
Wow.
And that's very early,
Yeah.
almost from the get-go.
Yeah.
When movies were long enough to have intermissions, they had intermissions.
Yeah. Yeah. Casablanca, 1942. I'll just tell you, it was still about a quarter.
Okay.
So it's only a few years later, but I wanted to throw that one out there. I'm looking at, if you're watching this visually, you could see we have our movie posters.
Mhm.
So I thought, I pick those ones. So 2001, A Space Odyssey. How much was a ticket to go pay to see
$3.50.
2001, A Space Odyssey in 1968?
$3.50.
$1.25.
It says here,
I want to say it's like $2.
no, it was about 90 cents.
Oh.
Really?
So it says still on average, it was still less than $1.
Less than $1.
Which, if you think about it, wasn't that long ago. Like, in all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
You know, the movie that actually ruined all that was this one.
Oh.
The one next to it, which is Jaws. How much did it cost to get into Jaws? $1975.
$3.50.
$4.
$1.50.
Oh.
Which, if you think about the timeline, it isn't that much different, but it jumped essentially. What is that?
Blockbuster.
50%, right? Because it's essentially from $1 to $1.50.
Jump the shark.
They.
I know I'm using that out of context, but I think it's just funny because it's Jaws.
All right, so 1975. 10 years later, 1985. Back to the Future. Remember, I just said it was $1.50.
$3.
$4.
$2.75.
Okay.
So you paid $2.75 to go see Back to the Future. And again, this is, by the way, the average.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like in the cities, it would cost more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm in the expensive area because it was $4 for me.
All right, jumping to, we were talking about Leo and Titanic. So 1997, Titanic.
$7.50.
$5.25.
$6.65.
$4.59.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that here. It was more expensive here.
What was it?
I'm just saying. I remember movies being closer to $6.
The Dark Knight, 2008. Again, this is the average.
IMAX?
No, it's regular movie theater.
$8.
I'm going to say 9.
$8.50.
$7.18.
Okay.
So not too far off.
All right.
Yeah, here it probably, it's going to be a little more than that. Avengers Endgame. Your Endgame when it comes to the. Do we remember this?
$375.
$13.
Yeah, it's probably $13.
Yeah.
The average was
$12.
$9.
What?
Matinee.
Really? We're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
We are.
We are. We're in an expensive city, but that's what happens. And as of 2025, the average movie ticket is now $11.42.
Still seems
Really?
low. Yeah.
That doesn't feel true.
No.
That this is
Maybe in Omaha.
This is according to Statista and Film Buff Online.
I've seen many a movie in Iowa, and they were cheaper.
Yeah, I've been elsewhere, and I've been shocked at the price.
Shocked at like how low the price is?
Yeah, how low the prices
Yeah.
were.
Yep.
Yeah.
To where
that
it
makes
was
sense.
just like, I'll buy another movie ticket for the same one, just so I could have an empty seat next to me for my snacks.
that you smuggled in.
for the snacks that I smuggled in.
I'll buy 2 tickets for me and my snacks.
Thanks for hanging out with us on iHeart Movies. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share with your fellow movie fans. Until next time, happy watching.